Okay, hello everyone. On this episode, I'm going to be checking out the trailer for the new 007 game, First Light. I believe this was released, what was that, yesterday? Yeah, 21 hours ago. Yeah. This game's being made by the same people who do the Hitman games. I know they have a pretty good fan base, but I was never that big of a fan. I think the only one I ever played was the second one way back in the day. It was okay. I mean, it was old school IDOS, so the controls were kind of crappy and game was kind of boring, but the character's cool and sneaking around and stuff. The mechanics of the game are pretty good, but yeah, I was just never. I'm not a big fan of sneaking around games. Like, you guys have seen me play Assassin's Creed. I just run around killing everybody. Yeah, just like, bring it on! And, I go fight everyone. I'm not going to be sneaking around and stuff. So, but overall, though, I think their system could work for James Bond. I mean, I guess it's going to be a typical, maybe over the shoulder third person shooter with some probably with some platforming, and I'm sure we're going to be sneaking around offices and doing espionage stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it should be fine. I'm glad it's third person because that was my big issue with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, was that it was first person, and I would have preferred third person. So, but James Bond also works in first person too. I mean, hello, GoldenEye. So I don't know, but let's take a look at this. Okay. Why does every trailer have to have a trailer before the trailer nowadays? I'm so sick and tired of that. I guess they're just trying to get the attention of the TikTok generation. I don't know, but it's very annoying. It's like, can I just see the trailer, please?
His parents cut their own rope to save him. He watched them fall, then found his way off that mountain. He was 11 years old.
He then started a grand tour of every major boarding school in Britain.
Always at the top of his class.
Always at odds with authority.
Wow, diversity. I guess an Indian woman possibly playing him, and then this guy. Okay, well, yeah.
The same thing in the Navy.
His superiors all praise his instincts.
And they're all in need of early retirement. Nobody knows what to do with him, Mom.
No, and I suspect he feels the same way. But what he did in Iceland...
What he did in Iceland was insubordination. It was ill-disciplined, utterly reckless. He only survived thanks...
So this is going to be another James Bond prequel, which I'm kind of sick and tired of. I don't know why they keep going back to before he was a 00 agent. It's very annoying. I mean, just last year I read a James Bond book that actually described how he became 007. That was called, I'm looking at my bookshelf, Forever and a Day. It's actually the only James Bond book that I have read that was not written by Ian Fleming, I should say. And it was good. It was really good. It took place, I think, in, I want to say Marseille. Yeah, it was definitely the French Riviera, Côte d'Azur, or whatever. But yeah, I don't know why they keep going back to prequels. And Iceland. What the hell happened in Iceland? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I'm a huge James Bond fan. I've been a massive James Bond fan since I was like 8 years old. So I know a good bit of the trivia and the lore and all that. So I'm like scratching my head here, like, what happened in Iceland? I don't know. I think in one of the comics he went to Iceland. That was actually a pretty good comic. What the hell was it called? Vagar or something? But I don't think that was before he was a 00. So I'm like, because I think in order to become a 00 agent, you have to kill 2 targets. And I think in the books, one of them was a Japanese guy, and I can't remember some other guy, but then Casino Royale, it was like some British guy who was betraying MI6 and then his like henchman or whatever. So yeah, I don't know what all this was.
The blind luck. Give me one good reason to put him in the program, Mom.
I think you just covered them all, Greenway. It's really quite simple. Bond is a bullet without a target. Let's give him one.
Oh. I do not like this. I know some people are like, yeah, and some people were complaining about the scar on his face, and naturally, James Bond in the books does have a facial scar, I think, on the right side of his face. Ian Fleming wrote that, but yeah. I'm trying to tell. I guess his hair is black. At least that's accurate too. But I do not like this. And I think this is actually the face of the voice actor. He just looks too generic, man. I think I saw on Reddit somebody said basically his face is every actor named Tom put together. He looks like 10 different Toms, basically. I'm like, yeah, just very, very generic. I mean, this is not James Bond. This is not going to woo women around the world. Like, no. So, yeah. And the scar worked in the books because we didn't, have to look at it. But I'm like, okay, people give him crap for saying his name is James Bond wherever he goes. Like, what spy does that? But I'm like, this is just as big a identifier as your name. Like, spies around the world are going to know, oh, it's James Bond. See the scar? Yeah. Actually, don't remember where he got that. I don't know if Ian Fleming ever said. But you have to remember, and that's another problem I have with this being a prequel, in the books, because I think Casino Royale takes place in 1958, 1957. You have to remember, James Bond fought in World War II. I mean, he was like 18, but I mean, he's killed Nazis. Like, he has a very long history with warfare and espionage and all of that, even before he becomes a 00 agent. But putting it in the modern day and having him be this young guy, I mean, what has this guy done? I guess he's been to Afghanistan, maybe? Like, I mean, because James Bond was a commander in the Navy, and I assume he probably would have been an SAS too, so why not just have like a Call of Duty SAS James Bond game? Like, if we're gonna go back far enough and do a prequel, I mean, let's do something like that. But anyway, yeah, no. And that's another thing too, is this shows how important it is when they actually pick an actor to be James Bond. I mean, the guy has to be handsome, he has to be charming, he has to be intelligent, has to also be able to convey, he's dangerous. He has to be tall, he has to be suave. I mean, he has to actually also have a killer instinct. Like, it's very, very labor intensive picking James Bond. And that's maybe why we haven't had a new one in so long, because it's so damn hard to do. And also finding a man that fits that bill nowadays, too. I mean, you look at Sean Connery. I mean, the guy was a bodybuilder. I think he was probably in the military at some point. Roger Moore was in the military. It's just a different generation, too. And the thing, too, is look how young this guy looks. I mean, James Bond in the books, I mean, he would have been like 18 looking this young. Because you got to remember, James Bond was a heavy smoker. The guy was in World War II. I won't say he's a heavy drinker, but he always has a buzz going, I don't like the image of James Bond as a womanizer because, I mean, yeah, he's with a lot of women, but he loves them. I mean, every single book, and I've read, I think, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the James Bond books. In fact, I just finished one last week for Your Eyes Only. Pretty much in every single story, he falls in love with the woman. Sometimes it goes well, most of the time it doesn't. Like, I remember at the end of Moonraker, the book, the woman he was doing the mission with and stuff, he was professing his, hey, I like you, and let's go out to dinner and stuff. And they were, I think, like in front of Westminster Abbey or something, and it's raining. He's got the umbrella. No, she's got the umbrella. He's just kind of standing under her umbrella and stuff, and they're talking. And she's like, well, I have a boyfriend, so yeah, I'm going to go now, but thank you. And she just walks away and leaves him standing in the rain alone and sad. That's like how the book ends. I mean, James Bond's got a lot of heart, even though he's also a stone cold killer. That's the one of the things that's very interesting about him. So seeing this young, plucky, go-getter kind of Bond is, and the thing too is, who wants to see a young James Bond? We want to see James Bond. We don't want to see Kid Bond. You know, it's kind of like what one of the producers for the Star Wars prequels said after the movies came out, and everybody kind of shitted on Anakin Skywalker. He was basically like, "Look, people don't want to see 18-year-old Anakin fall in love with Padme. They want to see Anakin become Darth Vader. That's what they care about." And with James Bond, we want to see James Bond. We don't want to see him become James Bond again. I mean, we got plenty of books for that. We had Casino Royale. Like, why are we going back to this? But let's continue.
Do you have an appointment?
The name's Bond.
James Bond. He's with me.
I guess that's Miss Moneypenny, because she just has to be a black character now. I mean, it was one thing when they race swapped her from a white woman to a black woman, but yeah, you try and do it the other way around, probably not going to go well. But that said, I liked, what was her name? Naomi Harris, I believe. Yeah, I thought she was good in Skyfall. You know, she was sexy and competent. Well, aside from when she shot Bond, but yeah. You know, she was believable. And unfortunately, though, in the movies after that one, God, I guess there were only 2 movies after Skyfall, Spectre and No Time to Die. There wasn't really anything with her character, because you have to remember, well, first of all, I think Miss Moneypenny, along with Q, are products of the movies. I don't think they were in the books, at least not so far that I have read. So basically her character in the movies was just to kind of have a, you know, tit for tat, flirting, kind of innuendo conversation, cute little conversation with Bond. You know, will they ever get together? That kind of thing. And I can't remember the actress's name, the original Miss Moneypenny. She was fantastic. Her chemistry with Roger Moore especially was great. But then in the 90s, they kind of got rid of that because sexism and that, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, so once you take that away, though, the character's kind of, yeah, there's no point to the character. So I don't know.
And you are? Don't think we've had the pleasure.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves, James.
Is that Martin Sheen as Q? Like, who's this guy?
So you shouldn't have.
Alright, look how skinny he is, too. I mean, I know a lot of Special Forces guys are kind of wiry, but, I mean, Bond's supposed to be tall, too. Like, he's supposed to be 6'2". So, I don't know. Who are these people? Trainees, I guess. Yeah, that was a horrible spread, by the way. Can we talk about that? What the fuck? I don't know. Alright. Rewind, you bastard. Yeah, first shot there. Whoosh. I think my mouse is double clicking. But yeah, not the best shooting there, Bond.
We're facing a situation of the utmost delicacy. I need all my pieces on the board.
009 is a master manipulator. Whatever the endgame is, we won't see it coming.
So we have another inside job. Him, 009 is going to be the villain. I'm like, again? We already did this with 006 and whatever the hell the villain in Skyfall was, 002 or something. Why are we doing that again? Can't we have like a real villain? Like, hey, let's have the Chinese or Islamic terrorists or something. I know they don't want to poke the bear, but it's like, okay, why are we having an inside job again? I didn't that in real life. Okay, another problem too is with this being a prequel. How many people has Bond killed before becoming a 00 agent? Like, look at this. I mean, he's got a kill count of like 200 even before becoming a secret agent. Like, okay, guys. That's kind of like my problem with the reboot of the Tomb Raider games. Because I really liked Tomb Raider Anniversary, which was a remake of the first Tomb Raider game. And in that, they really dealt with the fact that Lara Croft had never killed a human being. They dealt with that very well. I think it was near the end of the game when she kills, what was his name? Lambert, something like that. And that was actually a big deal for the character, Lara Croft. Like, that was like, she had issues with that. And, you know, it was dealt with respectfully. You know, she had only killed monsters and animals and stuff before that. But then when you go and play the reboot, the 2000, whatever the hell the year that was, 8 reboot, you know, she's killed like 200 guys before even becoming Lara Croft, you know. So it's just, I guess that's going to be the love interest. Rather, maybe she looks better with long hair. I don't know, but
Jet lag. Gets me every time.
She's not your friend, Bond. She's an asset.
With respect, Mom.
Yeah, they got the Omega watch, though. That looks pretty good.
With
Submariner, I'm assuming.
respect, Mom. To hell with that.
Okay, is that the what was that, the Vantage or the other one? Looks pretty good. I don't know why it's orange. The only James Bond who could pull off an orange Aston Martin would be Roger Moore. That's my favorite Bond car, though, I have to say. The one from The Living Daylights.
Tell me, what do you do, James?
Lately, headhunting.
Well, at least we got possibly some sexual innuendo. Not entirely sure. It's kind of hard to tell nowadays. Who the hell was that? Hey, mouse. Can you stop doing that? Don't tell me we're going to have a female Q or something. God, I hope not. I don't even like the title, First Light.
I suppose this is another teachable moment.
I don't know. I know a lot of people are excited. I think the gameplay will be pretty good. Just looking at it. What gun is that? PPK? Yeah. Looks like it's got maybe a little rail there. But yeah, I don't know. Will I be getting it? I don't know. The look of it, I'm just like, But I do think the gameplay should be fun. But the story and stuff, it's just, why are we doing a prequel? Why are we doing baby James Bond? And just, like, if we're going to do a James Bond prequel, why not go back to the 50s or the 60s? That would be so much cooler. The style, the gadgets would be probably more interesting. I just went to Berlin a couple of weeks ago, and I went to their spy museum, and there was all kinds of cool stuff. Like, they had the umbrellas that you could poison guys with and stuff. Like, it was freaking cool. And of course, they had a ton of James Bond stuff there too. In fact, I think they played all of the theme songs for the movies in their gift shop. I asked the guy who worked there, I was like, well, do you have a favorite James Bond theme yet? And he's like, they all drive me insane. Like, yeah, you know. If you ever worked retail, the music gets kind of, But, yeah, and a lot of people are excited. They like the theme from On Her Majesty's Secret Service playing during the trailer, and I'm like, it's not that good of a theme, but okay. And it's such a 1960s theme, too. That's another thing, you know, the music, how are they gonna fit that into this modern day video game era? You know, it's just like, it would be like, okay, is James Bond gonna walk into a nightclub in Tokyo with Goldfinger? You know, that's just total. That's like 60 years out of style. So it's just like, I don't know, but I would have preferred it being back in the 60s. Hey, if you want to give him the scar, let's just go full on literary character. Yeah. Let's go back to the books. And I guess his hair is brown. I don't know. It looks brown, but it's supposed to be black. Let me see. Yeah, that's freaking brown, dude. It's supposed to be black. All right, you're going to give him the scar, but you're not going to give him black hair. What the, you know. Granted, pretty much every Bond had brown hair, but it's annoying. But yeah, I mean, And diversity out the ass. You can definitely tell this game was probably made a couple of years ago. But whatever. As long as it's good. Like the comics, I like the comics, and you know, M is a black guy in that, but he's written like M from the book, so it's perfectly fine. And Miss Moneypenny, whatever. Yeah. This is kind of weird. Yeah, kind of like everybody's something else. Bond's like the only white guy in England. I'm like, okay. It's just a little odd, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we got the chest from Russia with Love. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting like Uncharted 4 vibes, and just everything just seems kind of generic. Like there's not a unique looking style to the game, which is unfortunate. Yeah. But James Bond is such an iconic franchise. I mean, the clothes, the guns, the music, the watches, the cars, the Bond girls. It's just such an iconic franchise, like cultural phenomenon. And in its own right, it's also a iconic video game franchise too. I mean, GoldenEye, that's one of the greatest video games of all time, especially in the first person shooter realm. And that's something Barbara Broccoli did not understand. She actually pretty much killed the James Bond video game franchise. She said James Bond is a movie character, not a video game character. So, which is insane because I'm like, GoldenEye? Like, hello. I mean, geez, even Daniel Craig talked about how when he, I guess, was in his 20s or whatever, he played the hell out of GoldenEye. Like, that's what kind of made him a James Bond fan. So that's just kind of a dumb, ignorant thing for Barbara Broccoli to say. But now that she's out, here we go. I mean, we might have a full-on James Bond video game franchise going here. Just like we might have one with Indiana Jones. I don't know. But, yeah, it just looks generic. I don't know. I really don't know. And, I mean, I played so many third-person shooters. I mean, my God. But it's bright, it's flashy. Could be fun. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the thing that I'm worried less about is the actual gameplay and more of the story and how the character's treated and just being interested in this version of James Bond. So, I don't know. They might do a good job as totally brown here. But then again, I don't know. But yeah, what's up with this? He's not the dude from Blade Runner. Like, come on. James Bond wouldn't be caught dead in that. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, I can nitpick, I can be negative, but everybody's like, yeah. So everybody's excited, I think. Most people are excited, so we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll get Game Pass and play it on there, but we'll see. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think, and we will see. I mean, I don't think this comes out until next year, so, I mean, they got time to change how this even looks, like they did with Indiana Jones. I mean, they changed the aesthetics quite a good bit on that one, so we'll see. But I don't know. And I'm not the biggest fan of modern games, too. They're just too tedious, too long, and they worry more about the cutscenes and how things look than the actual is the game fun to play. Like, for instance, I did Indiana Jones and the Great Circle this year. Then a couple of weeks after that, I did the port for Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings. Staff of Kings was way more fun. Way more fun. I had a much better time on that. You know, it was third person. You had all the fighting mechanics, the whip, fisticuffs, guns. You got to use vehicles. I mean, it was just a much more fun experience. And then you go and play Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You're just running around a map all day. You know, it's just very, you know, older games cut the bullshit out and just get to the fun part. So if they can do that with this, just make it simple, make it fun. Let's go be James Bond, even though this does not look like James Bond at all. Doesn't even really sound like him, but hey, we can look past that. If it's written well, if the voice acting is good, and if the gameplay is fun, like, let's go have some fun as James Bond. But we'll see what happens.